welcome. Today, these are just the answers from last night's homework. Okay, just a quick review on factoring. How do you factor something like this? Take a look at the steps over here. Okay, the first term is not negative. Is there a GCF? No, there's no number that goes into all three. Perfect squares, take a look. That's a perfect square. That's a perfect square. Okay, now you have to check the middle term. Is the middle term the square root of this side times the square root of this side? That'd be 5x times 2, 10x. Yes. Here's what you do with the negative. This becomes x minus 5 squared. That's a perfect square trinomial. All right, let's try this one. How do you factor that? Okay, first, notice this is negative. Think of that as negative 1 times x. So take that out as a GCF. First step is going to be negative 1 times x squared minus 13x plus 42. Now we've got 3 terms left inside. Use the x. Multiply the a and the c. That becomes 42x squared. This becomes negative 13x. Two numbers that multiply to 42 add to negative 13. That would be negative 6x and negative 7x. Stick it in your area model. Use the numbers from inside here. That's what we're factoring. That becomes x squared, 42. Now take these numbers to plug in this side. Negative 6x, negative 7x. You end up with x minus 6 times x minus 7. Final answer, negative 1. That's your GCF you took out. Times x minus 6 times x minus 7. All right? Let's try the next one. There we go. What do you notice? All right, a couple things. I think I need some more space, so let me erase. What's the first step I have to do? Well, I have a negative here. Do I have a GCF? I do. 4 goes into all of them, so you can take negative 4 out as your GCF. First step, negative 4 times x squared plus 7x plus 10. All right, now you've got 3 terms. This becomes 10x squared. This becomes 7x. Two numbers that multiply to 10 and add to 7. We've got 5x and 2x. You should be doing this on your own and then just checking against me. This becomes, use this number and this number, x squared, 10, 5x, 2x, greatest common factor, x plus 5, x plus 2. Final answer, don't forget your GCF, negative 4 times x plus 5 times x plus 2. Final answer. Let's try this one. What do you notice? There's a negative sign. Yes, thank you. Okay, GCF, is there a GCF? No, there's no number that goes into all of them except for the negative 1. So here's what we do first. Negative 1 times 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. Okay? Now use your x. You get negative 6x squared, 5x, two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to 5. Let's think that one through. How about 6x and negative x? All right? Does that work? Yeah, it does. So now we feed it into a box. Use the numbers from here first. 3x squared, negative 2. On the diagonal, you put your 6x and your negative x, so we end up with 3x minus 1 x plus 2. Now Double check. 3x squared, does all the multiplication work out? It does. Final answer. Don't forget the -1 GCF. -1 times x plus 2 times 3x minus 1. Good? All right. Name the roots. Okay, what are the roots? We've got a quadratic equation. This is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The roots are where y equals 0. There is one root right here, just one. That's going to be the root at x equals 2. So if x equals 2, then y equals 0. Okay, we also call that the 0 of the equation. Can you see why? What are the roots here? Trick question, there are none. No roots. That quadratic does not cross the x-axis. How about this one? No roots. That quadratic does not cross the x-axis. How about here? All right, here we've got two roots. Here's 1. Here's 1. There's one root at x equals -3. And there's another root at x equals 1. Those points are -3, 0, and 1, 0. We say the roots are -3 and 1. Okay, 3 ways a parabola can cross the x-axis. If there's 2 solutions, want to try drawing one? Here's a good one. Right there. What are the roots? -2 and 3. I can even write an equation for that. I can say y equals x plus 2 x minus 3. The roots come from the opposite of this number here. Okay, can you draw one that has a double root? One solution. Right there. That's a quadratic equation with one solution at x equals -3. Can you draw one with no solutions? Right here. Yes. Okay. This is what we did yesterday. Remember? We could find the roots from graphing and then looking at where the zeros are. We could find the roots by setting the equation equal to 0, factoring, then saying either x plus 5 equals 0 or x plus 1 equals 0, and then solving. Okay, let's do a couple more examples. What's a here? First of all, we've got to rearrange this. We say this is x squared plus 4x plus 4. I added 4 to both sides equals 0. There's my new equation. Notice there's only one variable. We just have x's, no y's. Doesn't mean that we can't still graph it as though it had a y. So we're going to graph this. Oops, I need an x, right? And then we're going to find the zeros. What's a? 1. What's b? 4. What's c? 4. What's the axis of symmetry? Use this equation. It's -b, so I'm going to put -4 over 2 times a. A is 1. So I have -4 over 2, which is -2. What's my vertex? Well, I'm going to find my vertex down here. I plug my axis of symmetry into the middle point. And now I've got to do a little work. Where's a good place to do the work? I'll do it up here. Let me rewrite this equation. Y equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now I'm going to do the work underneath. I'm going to plug -2 in here. So I have y equals -2 squared plus 4 times -2 plus 4. -2 squared is 4. 4 times -2 is -8 plus 4. What's my solution? 0. Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, so that's my vertex. My vertex is negative 2, 0. I can even plot it right away. Negative 2, 0 is right there. And now I want to go up 2 on this side, down 2. Let me even use my highlighter. I want these 5 points. So up 2 would be negative 1, 0, negative 1, 0. Down 2 would be negative 2, negative 4. Negative 3, negative 4. Which ones are easier to figure out? Let's do the negative 1 and the 0. So plug negative 1 in. You get negative 1 squared plus 4 times negative 1 plus 4. What's negative 1 squared? 1 minus 4 plus 4. Answer 1. Let's put 0 in. If I plug, oh shoot, I erased my equation. But anyway, if I plug 0 in, I end up with, look over here, 0 plus 0 plus 4. Is it going to be equal on the other side? Yes. If we've done it right, so it might be good to check. Negative 1, 1, negative 3, 1. On this side, we're going to have 4, 2, 3, 4, and it'll be symmetric, and we make a nice parabola. It should be a little more curved than mine is, if you're a good artist, just like that. On the other side, we could set this equal to 0. It's already equal to 0. Okay, so we've got x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. We factor it. Do you notice these got perfect squares? Take the square root of this side times the square root of this side. That's 2x. Multiply by 2. That's 4x. Yes, this is a perfect square trinomial. So we can say this is x plus 2 squared equals 0. Okay? These factors are identical. So we say x plus 2 equals 0. X has to equal negative 2. Is that what the same 0 that I got? I had 1 0 at negative 2. Yes. Let's try this one. This is, if it says f of x, is that the same thing as y equals? It is. Okay? So I can rewrite this as y equals 4x squared minus 8x plus 3. What's a? 4. What's b? Negative 8. What's c? 3. Axis of symmetry. Negative b. That would be opposite of negative 8 is 8 over 2 times 4. What does that equal? 1. So my vertex is going to have a 1 in it. And I'm going to put the 1 down here. Let's do some work. I think I'll do my work right here this time. We've got 4 times 1 squared minus 8 times 1 plus 3. Well, it's not a great place to do work. Anyway, this becomes 4. This becomes negative 8. This becomes 3. What's my answer? Negative 1. I think I'll do my work out to this side, maybe. I'll do my work right here, okay? So let's go ahead and graph that. I end up with 1, negative 1 is the vertex. 1, negative 1 is right here. Get my highlighter out. I need 5 points. Let's use these 5. Okay? Start from here. We've got 1, 2, 3 on the upside. And on the downside, 0, negative 1. Okay, let's plug in. Which one's easier to plug in, 0 or 2? Let's plug in 0. You end up with 0 minus 0 plus 3. Answer is 3. So this should be 3 as well. Might want to do it just to check your work though. Which one's easier to plug in, the negative 1 or the 3? Let's do the negative 1. 4 times negative 1 squared minus 8 times negative 1 plus 3. Negative 1 squared is 1, so we end up with 4 minus negative 8. That's plus 8 plus 3. Answer is 15? Yeah. 15 should be the same up here. So let's graph. 2, 3 is right here. 15 is off the graph. So we don't even have to plug that one in. Just make a nice